The world shook when they appeared, the beings that transcend the thinking of mankind, dragons. With their armies, they make every grounds they set foot desolate and dark. One thing they failed to calculate is that mankind were species that have survival instincts and adaptability. With the immeasurable energies carried by the dragons, the earth became filled with powers that gave human abilities that proved an opportunity for mankind. A small portion of the population awakens as Psykers, individuals gifted with extraordinary abilities like telekinesis, elemental manipulation, and psychic foresight. With their newfound powers, these Psykers organize humanity's last stand. The battle is long and bloody. Psykers lead charge after charge, their powers colliding with the dragons' overwhelming might. After 3 harrowing years, humanity manages to repel the dragons, driving them back to their dimension, but at an immense cost. Entire nations lie in ruins, billions are dead, and the world is left teetering on the edge of collapse. Just when humanity begins to rebuild, a powerful Psyker with precognition foretells a grim future. The dragons will return in 15 years, stronger and more ferocious than before. Humanity has little time to prepare. To ensure survival, the remnants of the world's governments establish ARC, a hidden training facility tasked with raising and training the next generation of Psykers. These children are humanity's last hope in the coming war. We see the main character of the story, named Lee Han, making a deal with an army major. Lee Han is a Psyker, and he is accepted to train at ARC, a training center developed by the army to create soldiers capable of fighting the dragons. Lee Han has accepted this deal on the basis of the major taking care of his friends from his previous gang. Lee Han is seen at ARC when he hears a commotion. He gets closer as he sees a guy named Simon bullying a kid named Kuro. The other kids don't like this attitude as Simon activates his powers as a Psyker. He intimidates the other boys and tells them that he would kill them. He uses telekinesis to lift a stone and shoots it at Lee Han. Lee Han catches the stone with his bare hands and says that the speed was slow. We see the duo fighting when their commander called Red comes to them. With an angry look on his face, he asks the duo to come to the front. He punches Simon in the stomach as Lee Han also receives one on his stomach, which pushes him away. He orders everyone to run laps around the training ground. We see Simon and Lee Han running ahead of the rest. Some of the kids fall behind and are sacked and taken back home. Kuro is about to fall when Lee Han helps him up. They are done with the training when Red says that they would be doing the same run each and every morning. Days pass as we see the kids being trained on how to access their powers. They're given 2 weeks to materialize their powers or else they would be sacked. We see that the other kids have begun to manifest their powers. Lee Han is worried that he might be sacked. He put his pride away and goes to seek help from Simon. Simon says that Lee Han's head is high as Lee Han quickly goes down on his knees. Simon sees how Lee Han is as he takes a pencil and stabs the chest of Lee Han, saying that that wound will be the core of Lee Han's power manifestation. The day of enrollment is here as we see Red in front of the kids. He activates his powers as his eyes are seen glowing. He asks those that can't manifest their glowing eyes to separate themselves from those that can. The kids separate themselves, but we see Lee Han still standing in the center. Red tells Lee Han to move, but Lee Han keeps quiet, thinking why his eyes aren't activating, even though he made a wound on his chest. Red gets mad as he punches Lee Han in the face. We see that Lee Han took a pen from Red's pocket as he stabs his chest with the pen. He bleeds as Red lifts him up. We see Lee Han crying as his eyes are seen glowing blue. The kids are grouped into 4 classes. Class A has 1 student, Class B has 4 students, Class C has 5 students, and Class D has 15 students. Lee Han is in Class D when Kuro is in Class B. Simon was the only student assigned to Class A. Class D's teacher named Wei Chin comes as he smiles with the kids. He takes them to the gym and shows them some spearmanship skills. Lee Han chooses a spear as his weapon as Wei Chin plans to guide Lee Han. 2 weeks later, we see Lee Han sparring with his class president named Jose, who is about to be moved to Class C. Lee Han parries an attack from Jose and hits Jose's weapon down. Jose asks Lee Han to be the next class president as the other kids agree. Lee Han comes and asks Red that he wants to be promoted to the next class. Red says no with a murderous intent. Red gives a sharp spear to Lee Han and asks him to prove his worth with a spar. The rules are, if Lee Han is able to land a blow on Red, he wins. They start as Lee Han mimics the movement of Wei Chun. We see Red blocking the attacks from Lee Han. Lee Han attacks from above and Red blocks with his hand. Red grabs Lee Han's collar and knee kicks him in the stomach. He slams him on the ground and lifts his leg to kill Lee Han. Lee Han dodges the lethal attack and rolls away. He rushes to attack as Red holds him by the collar again and throws him to the ground. Red realizes that Lee Han had sneaked an attack on Red's face. Red is proud of Lee Han as he takes Lee Han's final attack head on. Lee Han is a bit relieved, but unbeknownst to him, the fight is far from over. Red stands up and grabs Lee Han's neck. He activates his trait as we see fire on his hand burning Lee Han's neck. Lee Han collapses as Wei Chun comes to him. Red says that when Lee Han wakes up, he should be immediately promoted from Class D to Class B. Lee Han is seen training his psychokinesis when Wei Chun comes to visit him. He tells Lee Han that his psychic energy is below average, so he shouldn't think about achieving any trait like the others like Red, who has the ability to manipulate fire. He says that Lee Han should train his psychokinesis to the limit, so that psychokinesis itself becomes his trait. Wei Chun displays how well he can use his psychokinesis and shows how powerful he is. We see Lee Han in front of Class B. He meets the class president named Dimitri as he is taken into the class. Lee Han grabs a spear and charges forward. Lee Han beats up 4 kids for bullying Kuro and threatens them not to do so again. Lee Han asks Dimitri if this is what he does to his comrades. Dimitri replies saying that this is the way of Arc. The duo then agree to go into a fight. Lee Han blocks an attack from Dimitri. He parries another attack and hit Dimitri's leg. He moves in with a stab when Dimitri dodges. Dimitri headbutts Lee Han as he is pushes back. Dimitri attacks with his wooden sword and breaks Lee Han's arm. He lets his guard down thinking Lee Han will be unable to fight. Lee Han strikes Dimitri at the back of the head as Dimitri collapses. Dimitri wakes up in the hospital next to Lee Han. He tells Lee Han that if Kuro continues to be weak-minded like that, he would die if he gets to level 2. Dimitri leads Lee Han to the emergency ward. He sees a guy being rushed into the hospital. Lee Han says that the guy they just rushed into the ward is a grown-up. That's where Dimitri reveals that, when you get to level 2, you are injected with liquids that makes you grow your body into an adult in a span of 2 weeks. We see the kids gathered to be in an airborne training. The kids jump and land on an island. Red reveals that the kids are to survive on the island for 1 week with 3 days worth of food in the bag they are carrying. We see the kids destroying each other for food as the airborne training becomes the survival of the fittest. Next on Kill the Dragon, we see a grown-up Lee Han exiting an aircraft with his team. His commanding officer explodes in the aircraft as Lee Han calms himself while landing. He is seen with Kijo, a member of his team, as they encounter a werewolf alpha, one of the army generals of the dragons. How will Lee Han survive this situation? Subscribe to the channel to watch the next part of this video.